back to Medicine for These Times. Thanks for joining me. And one gentle reminder, if you like this podcast at all, please leave a review. It always is just nice to hear what people think. So today I'm going to acknowledge that we are at the end of 2024. We have 1 week left until we enter into another new year. Can you believe it? Where did the year go? Holy crap, 2025. When you were a little kid, did you ever imagine being alive in 2025? I mean, it just seems so far away, right? I mean, unless you are 14 years old listening to this today, maybe. But I wanted to let you know that January 8th and 9th, I am hosting my 9th annual New Year's Soul Activation. This is my 9th annual New Year's goal manifestation event, and it is just getting better every single year. I am hosting it in person in the Hudson Valley in New York on January 8th and online on January 9th. This is a pay what you wish event. If you show up and actually stay present and just follow along and do the interactive exercises that I guide you through, you will be intentionally co-creating your reality in the next year and hopefully beyond that as well. So the other year I had a friend say to me, she did this workshop and she said to me, you know, I've never thought about what I wanted to create in the year or at all in my life. And I was actually a little surprised. I mean, I'm not a fan of New Year's resolutions. Those we can just throw away. But this is about being very intentional with the direction of your life. I have been doing this work since I was quite young. I remember first doing it very intuitively when I was a teenager. And it just felt like I always knew what I was here to do. You know, I never struggled with my purpose. I mean, yeah, I struggled with what I wanted to actually go do next, or what job I wanted, or what to launch next in my business. Like, of course, those are kind of the three-dimensional everyday problems of not knowing what's next. But when you know in your heart what your grander vision is and what you want to create and what your kind of overarching theme is for these phases of your life, then we can actually be a lot more intentional and really work with it as a guiding light. I always call it the beacon of what you're creating and the way you run your business, the way you show up in the world, the way you say yes to things and no to things, the way you interact in community and with friends and loved ones. You know, when you stop and take the time to interactively, like really, and this is like an embodied practice that I teach. This is not just like think about it and that's that. There's, by the way, I do not teach creating vision boards. I don't actually believe they work. I do believe in mind movies, which is very different. But this is an intentional, guided, like ritual container that I have proven to work. I mean, someone just signed up for the in-person one and I wrote her and said, oh, I'm so excited you're coming back. And she said, yeah, I actually manifested everything from last year. Of course I'm going to come back. And I have heard this year after year after year. People have reported to me like, wow, I actually followed through on the things I said I was going to do from your workshop. So, you know, I'm not here to just like toot my own horn, but you know, I think it's something in my energetic makeup with who I am and how I've just been since I was quite young, that it comes very easy to me to be very intentional with what I want. And I've always gone after it, you know, not to say it's always like worked, but when I say worked, I believe everything works. Meaning if you have a quote failure, which I don't believe in, I don't believe anything's a failure. It is just a lesson to catapult you onto your true path. Maybe you had to go through, like me, running a few other businesses and having them be okay, you know, and finding something that aligns with you more. Maybe you had to have a business that didn't make any money so that you could learn from your mistakes to then have a business that did. You know, it happens all the time. We all have heard about them. Actually, in the tech startup world, they actually prefer when a founder has failed before. And again, failed means learning lessons. So in this container, we will get really intentional. We all also do some rituals and some clearing practices. And then what I'm really excited for is this year, I'm going to be bringing in a couple new exercises that I have learned in the last year. So if you haven't heard yet, I've only announced it a little bit. I have been studying neurolinguistic programming, very specifically a form of transformational neurolinguistic programming that I am starting to see my own version of it as more like shamanic style transformational neurolinguistic programming with a little somatic therapy thrown in, because it's all my tools that I've studied over the years are just being woven into this work that I'm doing. And so I'm going to bring in these exercises that have you really stop to see why, and not why, what beliefs and what maybe not conscious beliefs are actually holding you back from creating what you want in your life. We're going to do some exercises that help clear the path, clear this out of your, system. And when I say system, it's like psyche, right? Unconscious, not conscious, cellular memory, your auric field, your soma, everything, to clear the path to then allow space for you to become more of who you truly are and align on your true path. When you become more and more aligned on your true path, meaning like, what is it your soul really wants? What is lighting you up? What is coming through you, through your channel intuitively that maybe you're afraid of, or maybe you're not listening to? We're going to do exercises to go into that so that you could at least start to get curious. This is how we co-create. If you look around at every like modern invention, right? Like look at, I was alive before the iPhone existed, and now look, like everybody has a smartphone, right? Like the internet on their cell phone, or even cell phones in general. There was someone or a group, it was probably a group, because, they say that, because we're all connected, there's usually these kind of intuitive, kind of hive mind hits that happen around the world where people start working on innovative projects right around the same time. And so, I believe it's like, okay, the world is bringing this into matter, and everything is created out of curiosity. Like, what if we could bring phones with us? What if there was another way to talk to people? What if we could actually put the entire internet at our fingertips? This didn't exist back when the internet started. So just remember that everything you want to create in your life, your business, your abundance, your world, your loved ones, your family, your adventures, your contribution to planet Earth and humanity, all of this starts with you getting curious. And this is some of what we're going to do together on January 8th and 9th. I also really, if you can't join us, that's fine. But I really encourage you to take some quiet time at the beginning of the year. If you can't join us, that's fine. Do it on a different day. But really just take some downtime. Get offline. Get off of technology. Like, just go be alone somewhere and take some time to really like feel into your body and soul. Like, what do you want this year? And, even though some of us might not really believe in this whole like linear time thing, right? This Gregorian calendar, it signifies something, right? And, you don't have to believe in it, but it's nice. It's a nice point, right? This is why New Year's resolutions came about. But you can, I'm recording this. I'm actually doing a ritual today when I'm recording this, which is around the solstice. I am doing a ritual. It's actually a little early. I'm doing it on December 19th because it's a very significant day to me. And, I did a big visioning exercise over the last couple weeks to prepare for the ritual that I'm doing today. And that has a lot to do with what I'm co-creating in 2025. So I encourage you to take a day, maybe it's on a new moon or a full moon or a significant day for you, and really just start to feel and get it out. I'll be honest, I'm not a huge fan of journaling. I just don't do it that much myself. I do it sometimes, but this is an instance where I really encourage people to journal, like get it out of your head, because if it lives in your head, it's just going to go in and go out. And then it's going to get, muddied up with all the other junk inside of your head. And this is why it's very important to slow down and get some calm and start to actually feel your feelings of what it is that is lighting you up right now. What do you envision for the year? Even if you're maybe not feeling inspired, try to create a ritual that will then fuel the inspiration. So for me, I sit at my mesa, my altar, and, have a particular ritual that I do. And I do some work outside, even if it's freezing cold out. Whatever it takes for you to really get into your body and start to feel what is coming through you. And even if it seems really scary, there was something that I manifested 2 years ago, I think it was, yeah, where I started getting curious about that about 8 years earlier. And I just didn't know how it would happen and, wasn't really doing anything to promote it. But it was something that I was like, you know what? I would like to do that one day. And let me plant the seed and just start to get curious. And voila, many years later, without any efforting, it literally landed in my lap. And it was actually one of the biggest career opportunities I've had in my entire business. And it was incredible. It was like a dream come true. And then there's things you can actually work on and intentionally co-create it and make it happen in your reality in this year. So even if it's something you're not sure about, or maybe you think it's way in the future, it's very important to have this space to be intentional, to create, to start dreaming it into reality. This is how our world is created, whether you believe it or not. So I hope this has been very inspirational. I know this is very short, but I wanted to just wish you a beautiful start to your new year, beautiful holidays, and please join us January 8th or 9th. 8th is in person, and 9th is online. It is a pay what you wish. It's a very affordable pay. And, if you just show up and you give it some attention and some of your presence, I can almost guarantee that you will witness magic happening in your reality in this upcoming year that is just super potent. So ask yourself, how do you want to live? Do you want to just live letting life, blow you along in the wind? I mean, there's nothing wrong with that, but you could be blown along in the wind and create magic along the way and make it a lot more intentional to actually enjoy what it is that you want and witness it. And, say a prayer of gratitude when it happens. Wow, there it is. There's my manifestation literally right in front of me. Oh, thank you so much. So I really encourage you to join us. And I will see you here, I think in the new year, maybe the day before the new year. I can't even count when this publishes. Thank you for being here. I appreciate you so much.